Your future is in front of you. Tune in with Brian Manko of Open Mind Accounting on this episode of The Local Connection, hosted by the Givlin Gals.
Open-minded, forward-thinking accountant. Who knew? Let's get into it. Welcome to The Local Connection with the Givlin Gals, where we unravel the secrets of successful marketing with passion and purpose. I'm Jen, your guide through the dynamic world of business strategies. Welcome back to The Local Connection with the Givlin Gals. We just finished up with Jason from Matador Pizza talking about Calgary Greek-style pizza, and now we get the great privilege of being with Mr. Brian Manko, the forward-thinking accountant. Yes, a socially friendly, outgoing, forward-thinking accountant. Mark this down on your calendar today, people. You actually have an accountant with personality.
Surprise.
Surprise!
Well,
winner.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sure, every child wakes up and it's their dream to own an accounting firm. So tell us the epiphany moment about when you decided to open your own Open Mind accounting firm.
Well, I'm an entrepreneur, but I've always been an entrepreneur within a framework. So when I was in pharmaceutical sales, that was very entrepreneurial. You had to go and find the doctors. There was no, it was a framework, but it was up to you to go and do it. So that was the entrepreneurial side. And same as when I was a stockbroker, same thing. There's your desk, there's the phone book. We used to have phone books. And
I remember those days.
Yeah, and go at it. And that was great. Accounting is very much the same thing. I can set my own hours. I'm my own guy. I select my own clients. All the advantages above, and there's no cap. There's no limit. So the epiphany was the market is. I was lucky to be in part, a lot of the good parts of the market over the, however many years, but markets never stay good. And so I was thinking, well, what do I do next? Well, what are my interests? Accounting was another one of my interests. So I got into it, a little bit later in life. I've been in it since 2007. But that was the epiphany moment. It's just like, what do I do that's still not capped, still entrepreneurial, still social, because I make it social, and there's no cap on the upside.
Okay, so you just said you are an accountant that's had other careers. You've been entrepreneurial, which makes you different than most accountants. And you just said social. Being married to a gentleman with an accounting degree, I'm going to tell you that is not the part of the job that made him go, yeah, this is where I really want to be. Talk to me about being a social accountant and what that means for you.
Well, it really... I guess everybody has part of their professional life, and part of that is the people that you talk to every day. When I left the brokerage, I left behind something like 200 clients or so around there, and I was active with maybe 100 clients, and 100 I talk to once a year. But I left I felt like I was leaving behind a big part of my social life, because there's people that I would talk to every day, and they were nice to talk to and fun to talk to, and so that was kind of part of part of your social environment, really. And then as soon as you remove yourself from that, it's like, oh, there's this great big hole that's missing. So accounting is the same kind of way. There's people that I talk to only every April. There's people I talk to throughout the year. There's lots of business building activities, which you guys are a huge part of. And that's the social aspect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So for someone that might be getting into the tax world, or they're really just not sure, what sorts of problems will somebody be having to know that they should reach out to you, and how do you provide that?
Are they getting into it as a career, or are they as a business individual, a business owner?
Let's talk about business owners. What advice would you give a business owner if they're just trying to set up, they want to incorporate, they're trying to figure out what to do, they're kind of like, Christmas sounds like a great time of the year to be wrapping up. Tell me about the pitfalls that come along with the December 31st.
Well, starting with December 31st, at least 70% of my practice is December 31st year ends. And what the business owner runs into then is just a tremendous amount of congestion, because everybody's vying for, getting their own taxes done. Like I was saying, in my practice, I've got 70% of my clients that have a December 31 year end. And put on top of that, the personal tax season as well. So, the first 6 months of the year is crazy busy. And, but then there's all the rest of the year as well. So I would encourage entrepreneurs and businesses to, when they start their business, or if they can change it later for a justifiable reason, CRA will let you change your end date to, something more manageable. Because, it's like, if you have the choice of driving down Deerfoot at 4:30 to 5:30 in the afternoon, why would you do that? I mean,
When you could go at 1 o'clock.
yeah, if you have the choice.
Smooth sailing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then for people getting into the business, I mean, if you have a way to sustain yourself for a while as the clients come in, because you have to source the new clients. So that's really the biggest thing. So it's better to get into public practice when you're a bit older, got some years behind you, and have some professional contacts. Fresh out of university, that would be a tough go.
So you called your practice Open Mind,
Yes.
which, given the structure that usually comes and the stereotype that usually comes with the average accountant, why that name?
Well, the reason is I was an entrepreneur first, and so many accountants that are, very seasoned accountants, some of them become almost jaded in the sense that they're too busy and everything is stressful, and they almost begin to resent their job, and some of them even begin to resent their clients because it's just more work. So so the clients become kind of secondary thought. The first thing is the deadline and staying out of trouble with CRA, keeping themselves out of trouble with CRA. And so when a client comes along and says, geez, I'd like to, I was talking with some friends and they're doing this with their business. They're doing that. They have this kind of structure. They were talking about how I could layer in some insurance. How do I do all these kinds of things? The answer is normally, or for me, it was always, no, you can't. You just can't. Like, forget it. We're just filing the tax return of that, and don't listen to that garbage. You'll get in trouble. Yeah. And so, I wanted to be yes, you can, and here's how. And let me think about what it is you want to do and what we can do within all these frameworks, the Tax Act, and all of my affiliates as well. Like, I've got insurance people, I've got a tax lawyer. There's people that are affiliated with my practice that can, fill in those gaps very professionally, and mitigate some of the problems and pitfalls that they might have. So, the open mind accounting is more of a solutions based. We were talking before about the front windshield approach. Looking down the road, driving your car looking forward. As Victoria said, you can't drive your car if you're looking in the rearview mirror. So the rearview mirror is doing all the tax returns and getting it done after the fact. So strategy, structure, analysis of the business, cost analysis, profitability analysis, cash flow analysis, all of those things kind of blend into the same sort of thing. But and how do we end up at a point where you can have the business running itself? So you can ski, you can water ski, you can camp, you can travel, and ultimately the business will be able to be sold because the individual isn't the only product. The business is the product because it runs itself.
That's fantastic.
That is really fantastic. So being social, being able to help people empower themselves to have the businesses run on their own and help operate in that capacity. But Jason and him are very similar with that. So what other communities and what other social things do you like to do? What other businesses do you love to work with? Like you mentioned, your tax accountant. Where do you like to serve?
Really anywhere, because what it boils down to in the end is, a set of financials and the compilation reports and the T2 tax filing and keeping CRA off everybody's back. But in terms of, different types of businesses, to me, just people that take their own tax quite seriously and take their own business seriously. You always hear about the people that neglect their tax because all the receipts just go into the glove box and they don't really care. And if they miss their tax filing deadlines, they don't care because they're mad at CRA anyways. And, who cares about them? Well, they're going to win. They're going to win. So if people are, it doesn't matter what industry, if they're involved and they're committed to their own business, then that's much more a fit. Yeah.
Now, I have to share with the audience that you enjoy debating with CRA.
Right.
Can you talk to us about that? Because you just said you have people that are like, I'm going to just tell CRA to go away. They're never going to go away. Tell me why you enjoy having a conversation with CRA.
I think it's just a matter of principles. There's too many people who, just like the accountant that always says, no, you can't, being the accountant that says, yes, and here's how we do it. There's so many frontline people at CRA that are really there just to answer the phones. And you can't get through. It takes you 2 hours to get through and get someone online or to talk to in the first place. And sometimes they just give you an answer. They say, oh, reference this or reference that, or no, you can't, the famous answer, right? And so I always like to dig a little bit deeper for them and, find my way or research the way to the right thing. And then there's a couple of avenues we can take after we can't get past the front set of gatekeepers. And really, rather than problem solvers, a lot of them are just gatekeepers, or they want to go down the tick box and say I fielded 20 calls today and my day is done. And so, yeah, it's 4:30. I'm out of here. There's, you can get to the next level and the next level above that. People that can, actually make a difference and help within CRA. And outside of that, there's other avenues as well that we can take. There's about, say, 3 other avenues you can take to kind of get a problem solved. If it's a lingering problem or clearly an error on CRA side, it happens. There's bank errors. I mean, there's all kinds of errors that happen. So we just got to follow through and get them corrected. And that, to me, is just a matter of principle. Like, I don't like to see people get neglected or overcharged and the fines run away, literally, and almost exponentially. It's crazy what happens with fines and late fees. So, it can really make a mess. I mean, I can't believe that we treat our own Canadians like that.
So on that note, if people wanted to find you, how could they find you?
We go to openmindaccounting.com and you can book a meeting with me by Open Mind Accounting and just click on book a meeting. My email is it's brian@openmindaccounting.com. And that's the easiest way.
Thank you so much for coming and for giving us that forward-thinking approach to our taxes and for not being afraid to discuss the entity that is the CRA and being able to chat with them. That's very empowering. So thank you for your time and for teaching us a little bit more about you.
And thanks for having me. This is a great opportunity.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Local Connection. Remember, implement those marketing gems and watch your business soar. I'm Jen, signing off with inspiration. Until next time.